starting my website development business. This will be a history lesson for many and will give you insight into the early days of the web. While working in management for the print industry, I found myself developing graphically enhanced relational databases. This meant that images and file sizes needed to be kept very small to ensure fast responses to data calls. This is the same skill set that was needed for the early days of the web. At the time, the internet was only used for some communication and data exchanges between universities. Web browsers were very limited, and it was a big deal when you could include a GIF image on a website. In the mid-90s, I was invited to a seminar that was set up by a company in the city, offering people the ability to have a website. I thought I would go to see what this internet thing was all about. They proudly demonstrated 2 or 3 websites developed by computer programmers. Green backgrounds with orange type that included a small GIF image. They looked like crap, but I could see where it was going to go. I spent the next several weeks teaching myself HTML code. I was often still on the computer at 2 a.m. My wife was ready to have me committed. I knew where this was going to go, and I was obsessed with teaching myself how to make websites. Within a few weeks, I had 3 demo sites ready to go. Now I needed to find a place to host them so they were available to my future customers. The local company was way too expensive, but I found a man in California running a web server out of his home willing to host my demos for free if I could get him a few customers to host. It was not long before I developed the first website for the county of Strathcona, and he was hosting it. Now, how to turn this into a business? I could see the biggest customer for this service would be the provincial government. I had some business cards printed, put my suit on, then went to see every government department that would see me. Most of them had no idea what I was talking about, but within a few weeks I received an RFP for a hunting in Alberta website. The RFP included all the information I would need to build the website. So I built the finished website and included it on floppy disk with my proposal. My competition was a couple of university students who were programmers. I won the contract, and I was soon getting RFPs from other government departments. It was not long before they had me teaching web development classes to government employees. I need to talk about web browsers. At this point, there were 2 or 3 web browsers in the game. Netscape had 90% of the market. They were by far the best. I sent them a link to some of my work and received a letter inviting me to become a Netscape development partner. I still have the Netscape hat they sent. Right about the time they were ready to dominate the market, Microsoft decided to offer their web browser for free. They even built it into their operating system. Their web browser fell far short of what Netscape offered, but they put Netscape out of business. Today's Firefox is pretty much the remnants of Netscape. Internet speeds were very slow back then, and computer processors were challenged to generate a web page. If I could develop a graphically enhanced web page that would load in under 60 seconds, I was having a good day. I was down to counting the pixels on an image to increase page load speed performance. In the early days, there were 4 or 5 search engines companies I would need to register each website with to ensure it would be found on the internet. But over the years, Google has grown to dominate the business. Doing government work helped to buy credibility and led to many other contracts with non-government corporations. I soon had a staff of 6 generating almost all of the websites for the provincial government, as well as many others. It was 2 or 3 years before competition started to show up. Most were one-person operations operating out of their home or established marketing companies who had purchased do-it-yourself software to try to generate professional websites. These websites tended to be painfully slow and would only fit certain monitor sizes. I was invited to sit on the Computer Technology Advisory Board for the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. This was a board that met once a year and attempted to give teachers some direction in the teaching of the students. There were many lessons learned over the 14 years I ran my web development business. I sold the business as a going concern when I turned 65 and it was merged into another company. Lessons learned. For the first several years my 2 or 3 page responses to RFPs worked for me based on our reputation. However, I lost a contract to a large marketing company using do-it-yourself software, and when I saw their proposal I could understand why. They made us look like amateurs. They submitted a professionally bound 50-page book with onion skin cover outlining in detail every aspect of the proposal, including the qualifications of every staff member. My approach was, now how can we do the same thing but even better, and we did. My company was called Cricut Works Design Group. We designed a cartoon cricket that we included on every page of our 50-page proposal. Then we would place a voice-over video mini CD with every quote. I must say I do not think we ever lost another RFP. The rules when responding to an RFP. In the early days, when I got an RFP, I would read through it, then send my standard response with a few changes. This is how not to do it. You must think like the person that will need to evaluate your quote. The RFP will have a list of deliverables listed in a given order. You must address each of those deliverables in detail one at a time. This will make it easy for the person evaluating the proposal and almost ensure you will be at the top of the list. Price is not always the deciding factor when you are bidding on a project.